Com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Hell yeah.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope!
I'm with my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that damn roof
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
So we know what happened when we went down there. So everybody had that memory in it, still in the back of their head. So this week, it's more personal than anything. We're taking it as a challenge, more personal. Try not to lead the game into the refs' hands. So we just want to come out and dominate and play our brand of football.
Yeah, the same thing. If we play our game, we play our brand of football and do what we're supposed to do, then there's no question about it, no options about it. We gotta. That was 2 years ago. We flushed what that is, but at the same time, we remember what we're trying to accomplish now. And we want a different outcome this year than that year. So we just got to ball out, play our game, and we're going to be good.
Yeah, it's one that it's frustrating, but we made too many mistakes in that game, and it should have never been left up to the refs. And we've kind of flushed it, and we got to move on, and we got to get a win this weekend.
Welcome into halftime on a Wednesday. You heard KJ Jefferson, Isaiah Nichols, Dalton Wagner talking about what happened 2 years ago and really just trying to move past it and getting the whole point across that don't leave it up to the officials so that they can screw it up at the end of the game. Trey Knox was also asked what he thought, and since he went right after Dalton Wagner, he said he pretty much stole my phrase. So that was all he added to it. Good to be with you today on this Wednesday. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis. Don't let the officials have the opportunity to mess a game up for you. I remember that was the lesson that I took from that loss at Auburn a couple of years ago, a game that Arkansas, look, it wasn't a guarantee they were about to win that game, but, man, it really did. They got screwed over by the officials in a terrible way. And, Matt, I think athletes, I think coaches quite often don't want to point the finger at officials for any reason why they lose a football game. Publicly, they won't say it very often. I don't know if anybody, I don't remember that day who pointed the blame at whomever. You just don't want to leave it up to a decision like that at the end of the game, no matter how bad of a call that was. This feels like an opportunity for Arkansas to go on the road. Look, this isn't going to be an easy game, not at all. Auburn hasn't played very well, but they've got a week off. They could still be bowl eligible. Maybe there's a few players left on that team that really want to play for Brian Harsin and do what they can to at least catapult him moving forward. But I think, Matt, this is a chance for Arkansas to, put it flatly, not leave it in the hands of the officials at the end of the game. And I don't want to see it come down to, the last 30 seconds and we're pointing on Monday to a blown call by the officials as a reason that Arkansas lost. 2 years ago, that's exactly what happened. And I remember saying, don't leave it up to the officials. There's this and that goes on during the game. But, man, it sounds like those guys would love to get past it and just beat Auburn for once because it's been 6 years.
6 years is a long time. The officials, you just don't want to even – they're kind of there like when you go bowling and you got your they ask if you want the bumper lanes, whatever you're just supposed to. You don't really want to know about them. You still want to go bowling and not hit the sides and hit a gutter ball. So it's just kind of like you just want them to do their job and don't really have to give them a chance to decide the game for you. Hopefully we can get in there, jump out on them early. I think we're going to get some turnovers, Phil. You talk about their quarterback only throwing 48% and how much they rely on the run. I think we're due to get 2 or 3 turnovers this game.
Well, we heard a lot from mostly players on the offensive side yesterday. Nichols was the only defensive player that was made available to the media. So you had your right tackle, your starting quarterback, tight end, and one of the guys in the middle of the defensive line speak yesterday. And now, I mean, Matt, what was it like for you? I don't know what the media availabilities were like when you played, because it wasn't Zoom, obviously. Was there a week? Was there a day during the week that you knew you might be chosen to go speak in front of the media and basically make statements for the entire team in a way?
Yeah, Kevin Trainer was the guy that kind of set that up, and yeah, there was every week. I don't think the media after they would get a phone call or we'd talk. I really didn't get too many phone calls back. I did not like talking to the media that much. At all. I'd rather them go talk to somebody else when I was there. But the nature of it, as the quarterback, you have to be available. And I kind of like that as far as being – that was one of the benefits, I guess, of being a receiver was you didn't have to always be available for the media. I was not a big fan. But, yes, had to go in every day. And we had a phone call, and there was some sports writers. I don't know who we were playing, but they asked the question, what's your favorite play? I said, yeah, what's my favorite play? Like, yeah, what's your favorite play? I said, when I hand the ball off to Cedric Cobbs and he runs for a 40-yard touchdown, and they're just like, that's not your favorite play. I was like, what? You don't like my, like, what do you that whole just uncomfortable talking about myself, everything.
They're trying to lead you to something that they're writing about or that they want to write about that week.
I like getting 7 points, though, when I hand it to Fred Talley or De'Arius, whoever. I like it when they score, Like it when Bo Mosley blocks a punt and Tom Crowder, recovers a fumble, scoop and score. I mean, stuff like that. That's what you like. It's a team game.
You'd have just been such a better interview if you just were an egomaniac. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. KJ, I mean, it was an easy choice to get KJ out there in front of the media. This was what he said on what the bye week meant to him.
It was great just being able to just have some time off and just be able to rest my body and just recover and actually take a whole week off and to just not be able to just hit and focus on contact and everything. So just being able to just lay back and actually relax and just get our bodies and minds right and prep for a big game.
There was something that Coach Pittman said last week that KJ had been dealing with a little bit of a shoulder, which I was unaware of until Sam Pittman mentioned it. So now with a couple of weeks that he hasn't thrown, I mean, last week he didn't have to worry about it. The week before, he didn't practice very much before the Mississippi State game. Here's KJ on his arm health.
The first day kind of got back to me, like just being able to just throw again. Like my arm kind of got tightened up on me because I ain't been throwing. So, but now, just the rest and recovery, just my arm, just from me just throwing so much and being able to get that time off has truly helped me out. So just being able to come out there fresh and have fun and throw the ball around.
Throw the ball around. It's what you always want to do, I guess, as a quarterback, is just have an opportunity to throw the ball around the yard with a guy. He threw it 40 times against BYU, Matt. That's a career high.
That's fun. As a quarterback, man, it's in the dual threat quarterback, you're really in control of the game. If you play well, you have a chance to win, and if you don't play well, it's tough. It's tough to win, and he embraces that role. That was my favorite part of the thing is your responsibility. Each week you're a big part of it, and KJ looks like he handles it well. I got to talk to him a little bit before the season started, and he loves it. He enjoys it. He doesn't shy away. Sometimes you wish he would kind of get down or not shy away from some of the contact, but that's who he is. I mean, he's a tough physical athlete, can throw the ball anywhere. We heard their coach talk about him yesterday, and he can make all the throws, and he has a lot of room for improvement. And that's the biggest thing is the players like him, and he just sounds like he's having fun. He wants to go play.
Well, one thing that Brian Harsin did mention, I think it was on the soundbite, was the poise that KJ plays with. And going on the road, look, I mean, he wasn't there. He was there, but he wasn't available to play. The last time Arkansas played against an SEC West team on the road at Mississippi State. Outside of that, I mean, your only other game away from Fayetteville is A&M in the West in the SEC. And now you got, I mean, it's a tough place to play, obviously, and you need your quarterback to come out and play with a heck of a lot of poise, and that's exactly what he does. I'm looking forward to seeing what KJ does against this this Auburn defense, which, by the way, man, I mean, things at Auburn, we pointed the situation going on at A&M with the suspensions for the freshmen, and it sounds like maybe Jimbo's losing the locker room a little bit. I think when you look at Auburn, losing a locker room is potentially what's going on with Brian Harsin. Saw this story come out on the Sports Illustrated website this morning that Harsin is basically telling all the players who haven't played 4 games yet that they should get ready to play into 5 games, basically not allowing their red shirt. If they want a red shirt, they're going to have to either play or they're going to have to transfer out. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what this will do to Auburn because they had a couple of players go into the transfer portal last week on the defensive side.
Wow.
And it's not a mass exodus yet, but the writing's on the wall when the reports come out that the head coach is telling you, look, you're either going into the portal or you're playing. There is no red shirt for you this year.
That's never good when you got players that play that you rely on and count on that in the middle of the season are just like, we don't want. They don't even want to play. So that's things are not good. Yes, things are not good in Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I tell you, man, I think this is the game that Auburn's season swings upon. I think they really do.
I bet they think they can win this. Like you look at their schedule and who they've played, and then who they have left. I mean, they got a Western Kentucky team, but they go to Mississippi State night game, then A&M, and then Bama. I mean, this is probably as far as SEC teams, this is probably their last one that they think we can win this game.
Yeah, this is their entry into what do we have left to play for once we get into November. You know, if they beat Arkansas, they can still be bowl eligible. If they don't, then like you're saying, you're looking ahead, where are their next 3 wins coming from? One of them would be Western Kentucky. Outside of that, you know, there's no guarantee about any of the other 3 games. I think the season swings here for Auburn much differently than it does for Arkansas.
They're going to fire their shot. That's for sure. I think whatever they had a bye week, they might come in and have some type of little different scheme going on the defensive side of the ball, or they're going to change it up. They're going to try to throw something at us we haven't seen. Work on a couple, like a reverse pass play, a swing play, that maybe an onside kick. They're going to have a different scheme on how to block a punt. I mean, if they're worth their salt of anything, and they, like you say, this is the game they have to have, they're going to throw some bullets at us.
Well, we do have a lot to get to on halftime today, which includes we'll make fun of Steve Sarkisian and this whole Eyes of Texas thing in a couple of segments. You got to have some fun with that while you have the opportunity. Bryce Harper's got a chance to do something that's never happened before in Major League Baseball. We'll touch on that. It's only happened maybe a couple of handfuls of times in professional sports in North America. Ryan Stanek attempting to become the 6th Razorback ever to win a World Series. And we'll do a lot of previewing on Arkansas versus Auburn. Coming up next, though, on halftime, it's Grant Hall talking about the Hogs, basketball, football, and, hey, there's another former St. Louis Cardinals bench coach who's been hired as a Major League manager, and we'll get into that next on halftime.
The water out of the tap is very hard to drink, very hard to drink.
Hey, this is Chuck Barrett, inviting you to join me for the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. I'm excited about it. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you follow your favorite podcasts. We'll talk about the Razorbacks. You'll get my take on what's happening in the world of sports. That's the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company at hitthatline.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Español.
Daniel.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
This is Northside head football coach, Coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach, Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football in fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them, so you can get back to more important things, like learning how that printer works. That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
Hey, this is Butch at Whitspring, your authorized Mercury dealer. Now is a great time to upgrade to a new Mercury outboard with the most advanced four-stroke on the market. And who doesn't like V8 power? All the way from the 200 Pro XS to the 300 Pro XS, plus great lower horsepower. But it's also a great time to get your Mercury or Mercruiser ready for winter with oil changes and your yearly service, plus treatment for your electric fuel pumps. And let's not forget about draining those Mercruiser blocks. That's Whitspring, 823 North 11, Fort Smith.
Get by your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith and make it a double combo with the Jamie Foxx Fox on the Rocks box with Friday's big ribs and wings served with seasoned fries and one of our 2 new awesome sauces. The new Fox on the Rocks barbecue sauce made with BSB brown sugar bourbon flavored whiskey and whiskey glaze blaze. And now Fridays has $2 beer all day every day. So stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
This isn't sometime, yeah, it's for always. I'm gonna love you with all of my heart. And if there is no more time, it's always a man. Even as the world spins itself apart. 'Cause I remember the day I waited so patiently for God to bring someone who's gonna be good to me.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Grant Hall with us for a Wednesday morning hit here on Halftime. Grant, how you doing? What was your bye week like?
Well, I've gotten to see quite a little bit of Razorback action here recently. I saw the football practice yesterday, the part that we're allowed to watch, and then the night before, of course, went over there to the Rogers State, Arkansas basketball game, and I think that this is going to be one of the more crowd-pleasing teams ever at Arkansas. This is my 70th year, I realize, beginning at age 4 or 5, I think, to see at least one game over there, all the way back to the men's gym, and before Barnhill Arena. And someone made the comment the other day that they thought this might be more talented team than a Final Four or the national championship team. Now, who knows what they'll do But just in terms of the 8 dunks the other night and some of the plays these guys make, I mean, Nick Smith he made probably the best pass I've seen in that arena in about 10 years on kind of an improvisational last second find, and things like that we're going to be talking about. But I talked to a former football player named Lamar Drummond who goes back to the 1950s, and he made I thought an interesting observation. He said they've got everything but the big man in the middle. In other words, the aircraft carrier type guy, and that's they've got a lot of tall guys, but not necessarily the 260-pound type guy. So we'll see if that ends up if they end up hitting a snag because of that.
I think you're describing like an enforcer sort, maybe not an enforcer, but like the 7-footer, 260, like you're saying,
like a Tyler Hansbrough type player. Something like that?
Yeah.
Someone that you're frightened of physically.
Yeah, the 6'8", 6'9" power forward that can move a little bit. Like a big nasty, like a Corliss Williamson.
Yeah, who used to scare the other team to death. He'd make a point to be lifting weights they could see before the game, And that Rogers State had a 270-pound guy, but he wasn't particularly adept. But But I mean, we'll see. I don't think that would disqualify them from. I mean, they've made 2 Final 8s in a row. Really, I think with teams not as talented as this one overall.
Well, and the accolades are just piling on for Nick Smith. And recently, he just was named to the Jerry West Award watch list, one of 20 players preseason being looked at as the top shooting guard in the nation. And I mean, players that come in with a spotlight on their back like that, they're a different breed. They're just a different breed, and it's got to be so difficult to just kind of tune out all the noise from the outside. But I mean, Smith's had that spotlight on him for more than a couple years now. So, and it's different when you get to college basketball. It's different when you've got a huge fan base like Arkansas with the expectations lopped on top of that. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, he's not the only one with a spotlight. Black, Walsh. Even some of the transfers coming in, but Nick Smith just sort of, it's pretty rare that you feel you got somebody on your team that could be the top overall pick.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that he scored the first 7 points of the game, and afterwards Eric Musselman talked about how he was the one guy that have these things kind of running during the team meal that they can watch, and he was more hooked into what Rogers State was doing than the other guys, or maybe guys on past teams. But you mentioned Anthony Black. I mean, this guy, as Eric said, he's just scratching the surface. A guy who is tall and can see. I mean, it's almost, Magic Johnson revolutionized the game in some way. He was 6'9", right, point guard. This guy's 6'7", but can do some amazing things. So, again, who knows what it'll all add up to. And by the way, Phil and Matt, what did you think of University of Texas deciding not to show the basketball game on Longhorn Network on Saturday?
I still don't understand it. It's the way I mean, I'm not really big on the whole social media and streaming and everything, but it's like, isn't that part of just kind of what 2022 is like you're able to stream and you pay extra for, what is it, the SEC network, and then you probably have the Longhorn Network that you pay for, and they're not going to stream it on those sites. It's just weird.
These are like the only game. The exhibition games are the only games that they're not contracted to air. I mean, if you go on like a European trip or a foreign trip, you don't have to air those. So they work out, deal with whatever network wants to air it, like I think Arkansas did with Flow Sports. But the exhibition games, they're under no contract here. It's just like
but they're not hiding anything, right? Like in football, you go the first 15 minutes of practice, but in basketball, we're all running the same plays. It's just who has the talent.
The thing,
it makes you wonder because the Longhorn Network, instead of showing this game, is now going to show the replay of the Oklahoma football game during that time. And I don't know whether it's a Chris Beard thing or the University of Texas, or maybe just their kind of years-long they do things their own way there. And I don't know that we have a good explanation yet.
The thing that's weird about it, it's like you have closed-door scrimmages. You have, like Arkansas women's basketball has a closed-door scrimmage 2 years in a row now with Kansas. Nobody can come in. So, I mean, what's when you allow fans to come in the building, when you turn it into an event, which is what they're doing. This is an event, opening up a brand new arena. Like, I don't get the idea of being secretive about things, because everybody in the stands is going to have a camera. And like Baylor could send a scout to go just get in there and watch.
But it's good for recruiting. I think it's good to be out there, right? Everybody wants to see the game.
It's monumentally stupid, if you ask me. I mean, you're talking about one team is ranked 10th, one team is ranked 12th. It may be one of the better matchups of the entire season intersectionally. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? But it's just so typical University of Texas to do stuff.
Do they play each other in the regular season this year? Is there a Big 12 SEC tournament, or who does Arkansas get?
I think they play Oklahoma and Tulsa. Isn't that right, Phil? In December, I think that's
they get Oklahoma because that's a previously contracted game. They don't play Baylor this year. I think it's Baylor
in the Big 12 tourney or whatever
challenge in January.
Oh, I see. December 10th, they got Oklahoma.
Right, but that's not part
they got
of the
Baylor. You're right, January 28th.
Yeah, Grant, what do you think of this game against Auburn on Saturday? Because you got Arkansas, feels like obviously much more of a rising program and trying to get on another run like they did at the same time last year. Sam Pittman makes a point, though. In order to get on a run, you got to win the one that's right in front of you. And Auburn, I don't know if it's a matter of trying to save Brian Harson's job or anything like that, but this is the game that really would give Auburn an opportunity to maybe advance to a bowl game with or without Harsin as their head coach, and it kind of swings on their ability to beat Arkansas and then find out a way to win a couple games after that.
Yeah, I mean, I look for a very competitive game. I know Arkansas is favored. Auburn, a lot of people look at, they say, well, their quarterback situation's bad, but this Robbie Ashford, even though he's under 50%, I think completion percentage, can run the football. And if you put that together with Tank Bigsby, who's coming off a big game, we know from the past how good he can be. And they've got some other good players. They've got a tight end with a lot of catches and so forth. So to me, and Phil, if you've ever been to Auburn, and Matt, of course, they do about as good a job as anybody in game presentation.
Yes, they do.
And if they're in it, I mean, the fans can really be a factor there. Arkansas has won several times. I think they've won 4 times. Not that in not that many years. That they've got some big wins there, but not lately. So, and the other thing is, and you probably saw this thing this morning, but I think Harsin is something like 10-1 after a bye week. So
yeah, they get a bye week too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Arkansas will and probably should win the game, but I don't think it's going to be easy.
I think there'll be a couple different schemes they'll do on defense. They had a bye week. It's good that you bring that up, and I think it's going to be important for Arkansas to get to a fast start and don't give them any momentum. But I think they will. They'll have a couple different wrinkles that we haven't seen so far this year, and they have some talent. We're going to have to be able to stop the run.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't expect Harsin to be coaching this game, I guess, but doesn't that there was the buyout reduces greatly by a certain time, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they've lost 3 in a row, right? But 2 of those games were fairly close, including the Ole Miss game, I guess, that was weather interrupted.
Yeah, I think they think they can win this game. You're making a great point right there. The coach, he has to be thinking, we're going to win this game. Then they have a chance to beat Western Kentucky. Who else do they beat on their schedule? They get to 6. You think he saves his job if they get to 6?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict what those people do there. I mean, they paid Malzahn $21 million, and he had a 67-35 record, which is more than 8 wins per season. And sometimes I think all these places are unrealistic about what coaches can do. But it's kind of like I heard yesterday, guys, that Jimbo right now the Jimbo payoff today would be $86 million. So,
wow.
I mean, not that they couldn't pay it if they had to, but what was it? I think Brando spoke this week and had the figure that schools have paid out more than $500 million in the last number of years just to coaches not to coach. And so
yeah, but in so many cases, Grant, in all these other cases, like Chad Morris and Bielema with Arkansas,
they make an upgrade.
That was what all the other coaches were getting too. I mean, a lot of these buyout clauses were, I don't know if it was identical, but they were similar. This thing with Jimbo, that's a different story, man. The contract he signed is an outlier, and now he's starting to see more. I don't know what Brian Kelly's buyout is, but that's a 10-year deal, right? I mean, you saw Mel Tucker, for crying out loud, get a kind of deal that was sort of similar to Jimbo. You're getting what you deserve with a contract of that length and with a buyout of that size.
And did they?
And I know, and people say, well, it's just the cost of doing business, but it's also the cost of doing stupid business in many instances, I think.
That's kind of what I was saying. How many times when they do that are they upgraded? That's just unreal about Gus Malzahn's record. And we always say this, or I've always said this at Arkansas. If a coach here is averaging 8 wins a season, giving you a little hope, man, he'd coach here for 10 years.
Well, that's what Houston was here 10 years, and I think averaged 7.5.
Yeah, and we had a couple 10-win seasons. Yeah, making bowl games. I mean, that's successful here, and you can do that here, man. There's a lot of talent there and a lot of money up there.
Well, hey, Matt, can I ask you a quick one here, because I heard the other day the late great Paul Eels call on your touchdown pass to DeCorey Birmingham, and the legend, the myth is that you were over there on the exercise bike and somebody came over and said, Matt, it's time to go. We kind of need you, and you said, I've got this. Is that anywhere near correct?
Well, Coach, yeah. So I'd had a play. That was probably, I mean, in all honesty, I did not have a good first half. I went to throw a ball and the ball just slips out of my hand. I had a couple just horrible throws. I couldn't get a whole lot going running the ball either. Just not really playing well. And then Fred Talley breaks that run where he broke like 8 tackles that people don't really talk about as much, but just one of his best runs, 70-yard touchdown run, whatever, breaking down. And so it's like, what else am I going to say? Coach Nutt comes over and he's like saying that, and then he's like, well, you ain't done it yet today, son. Like, when's it time? Because it's like, I got it, Coach. He's like, well, yeah, what are you waiting on? Coach, we had an awesome relationship. I'm a big Coach Nutt fan, but yeah, he did. He's looking at me like, man, you ain't done nothing yet today. Are you still here?
That's interesting. You mentioned that Talley run, because I think he went for 200 plus against Auburn one year.
240 something. Yeah. He's still running. Yeah, he is.
Grant, I need to get your thoughts on the World Series starting Friday. I'm going in all Astros, although I want to see a 7-game series. Houston just is, they just are the best franchise in baseball now, going on 5-6 years. And look, I mean, everybody can hate on them for cheating in 2017. I don't think they've cheated since. I don't think they've come close to cheating since, and they just keep winning. And I'm rooting for Dusty Baker. But, man, you got to be careful, because the Phillies, like, they're the Ole Miss of Major League Baseball right now. They got into the tournament, they got hot, and they're really good.
Yeah, well, I had a spectacular hit and a spectacular miss. I had Philadelphia ever since they beat St. Louis, but I predicted the Yankees, and, of course, they lost in 4 straight. So that's how much I know. But you're right. I mean, I kind of have gone from hating Dusty Baker when he was opposing the Cardinals all those years to really liking him after beating him here. When he was here one time at an Arkansas baseball game a few years ago, and he's never won one. He won one as a player, but not as a manager. But I'm going to stick with the National League to win for the 4th consecutive year. I really like what Harper's doing right now. I think he's in. Well, I mean, golly, what is he hitting for something in postseason with 10 or 11 RBIs, and sometimes a guy like that can carry a team. So I'm going to stick with Philadelphia.
Who has? Right. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, who has the better pitching, Phil and Grant? Who is Philly? Is Houston? You say the better team, and to me, in my mind, because I'm not as sharp, I guess, on the it just makes me think better hitters. They're better bats. But what does Philadelphia do so well then that has allowed them to get here?
Well, they've got power diffused through the lineup.
Yeah, Phil, I'll just because I'm interested in your opinion on this, but I think Wheeler and Nola are tremendous for Philip. But maybe overall, would you say Houston has a better pitching staff?
I think Houston's got the deepest pitching staff in baseball, and that goes to the bullpen too. I mean, Ryan Stanek has barely pitched in the postseason. That tells you how good that pitching staff is. And, I mean, like Framber Valdez, outstanding. Verlander, Cy Young Award winner. Urquidy has been good this year. I mean, they're a better pitching staff, and they're a really deep lineup, too. Plus, I think they get more games at home, which I think will mean something to Houston. Grant, we'll leave it there, right up against the break. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, and we'll talk about it next week again on Wednesday. Grant Hall, who's been good to give us some of his time every Wednesday here on Halftime. Brought to you by WT Equipment. Go out and visit one of their 8 locations, serving their customers across Arkansas and North Louisiana, including their newest location in Searcy. WT Equipment, they're an authorized New Holland agriculture and construction equipment dealership. They offer equipment sales, service, and parts. They are your source if you're in the market for compact track loaders or excavators. That's WT Equipment with a large selection of new and pre-owned inventory. So when you're ready to invest in ag or construction equipment, stop by your nearest WT Equipment location or go online to WTEquip.com. Stay tuned because we're going to make fun of the Texas Longhorns after the break.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Hey, this is Mitch at Red River Ram Dodge Chrysler and Jeep, and folks, this is my favorite time of year. It's Jeep Freedom Days, and at Red River, one thing we believe in, that's freedom. Like right now, you've got the freedom to order your car online at redriverjeep.com. You can custom build it and get it however you want. And you have the freedom to take the in-person experience and come in and order your vehicle right here from a salesperson or buy one right off our lot. So make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal and online at harryrobinson.com.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street across from Play It Again Sports or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
This is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Get your home or office looking its best for this football season with new flooring from Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, ceramic, porcelain tile, or luxury vinyl planks, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs with brands such as Bow Floors and flooring supplies from Maupe. And let's get started on beautifying your office or home. We even do countertops. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Davis Floor Covering with 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Call 452-4808.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis Savas campaign.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
Trouble in the night, I'm blue. I won't be blue away. For the sun is gonna shine and my back go one of these days.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Alrighty. The first thing I'd like to do before we get started is, I owe an apology to Longhorn Nation.
Well, I'm sure you've learned the school song by now.
I made a mistake at the end of the game in not singing The Eyes of Texas when the game was done.
No one is permitted to move during the singing of the school song.
Our players just followed me up the ramp into the locker room.
No one is permitted to move during the singing of the song. You will learn this song, or next time you will be suspended.
That was not anything intentional.
You will sing the school song upon demand, or you will suffer dire consequences.
That won't happen again.
You better know it. All right, continue.
Obviously upset by the way the game ended.
This time, if you don't get it right, you're suspended for 10 days.
Literally walked off the
Report
field.
to my office. Immediately.
Apologize to everybody for that. That'll never happen again.
Who taught you that? Answer me.
And it was not intentional. It was not premeditated by any means. That was just a mistake on my part.
I want everyone in this school to learn that song in English and Spanish. Immediately.
It's all I could think of watching Steve Sarkisian's press conference on Monday. That's how he started the press conference, apologizing for walking off the field before the singing of Precious Eyes of Texas, which is a whole other conversation, having that song, part of Texas anyway, with the tune that it is set to. But I couldn't stop thinking about that movie, Matt. Lean on Me, Joe Clark. You remember that movie?
Funny.
From,
I've never seen that
86,
movie, but
80?
that was funny.
You've never seen Lean on Me?
I've never seen Exorcist, never seen Lean on Me. Yeah.
We got some pop culture.
Is that
to
Macaulay
teach you in some
Culkin? Is he Lean on Me?
No. No. That's a whole opposite of Macaulay Culkin.
Was he even alive?
He was like 92, huh?
He might have been. That might have been, maybe like Macaulay Culkin was 4. No, that was Morgan Freeman playing it's based upon a real story. Principal Joe Clark.
That was funny, though.
Principal Joe Clark, who made sure that everybody knew the words to the school song. Otherwise, they were going to get suspended and kicked out of school.
So, Sark, Texas they were 20th, and I'm looking at it now. Oklahoma State, they were winning the entire game. No telling he was hot, huh? He must have.
I'll bet he was
gave up 14. They were up the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then laid an egg in the fourth. And was he being a baby? Was he? I mean, is it kind of like, or is he? What do you think?
I just think he just wasn't aware of
honest mistake
of the things that you have to do as the Texas football coach, which has a lot more to do with I thought winning games, but apparently you got to make sure that you're on there for the song. This makes me wonder. Like, there's the idea of being a really good coach, but being a bad cultural fit.
Right.
Like, you'll be a good cultural fit if you win a bunch of games.
It covers up some flaws. When winning, it cures a lot of elements. That's true.
But part of the culture are like the things that fans expect from you as the coach, which is to, I guess in this case, respect the school song, respect their tradition, and make sure that the players do exactly the same thing. Like, it'd be different if the coach was standing there and like, no, you're not allowed to leave the field until we put our our pointer and our pinky finger up in the air for all to see and make it look like we're real Longhorns. But no, he was the one who walked off. I don't think it was a matter of just, being bad form as a coach. I'm sure he went and shook Mike Gundy's hand and then just made a beeline for the exit, and that was that.
So it's probably really just it's just all formalities and the apology. It's just like, okay, I have to go say I'm sorry, so I'm sorry. But if nobody would have said anything about it, it wouldn't be a big deal. They're just Texas being weird.
But of course they're going to say something about it, Matt, because they're Texas.
I would have tried. I'd be something about my defense giving up 14 in the fourth quarter is what I'd be worried about. Not singing some dumb song. It's like we're here to win.
Matt, you're going to have to learn that song in English and in Spanish. Pronto, okay? Just make sure you get that in. And I'm going to have to restart halftime homework at some point if you don't start seeing some of these late classic movies from the 80s.
I'll put the list down. I'm going to check it out. I will. I'll check it out. I like movies, man. I went and saw Bullet Train in the theater. I think it's the last one I saw.
Another good
if
one.
I was an 8th grader, man, I'd have went and saw it again. That was just it was a cool movie.
All right, we're going to step aside. We'll wrap up hour number 1 with a reset after a very quick break on halftime, so stay with us.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light, crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hanging out at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my buddy Ray with me. And, you know, Ray, if someone is looking for a Mustang GT, Randall Ford is the place to come and shop.
We got a green one, a blue one, and a white one. EcoBoost 5.0, you name it, we got it. We even have a Mach 1.
You know, I love the fact that you do have a selection. If someone's also looking for a Raptor, you have a couple of Raptors as well.
A couple of Raptors, new, pre-owned, you name it, we got it.
You know, if someone's looking and they're in the market for a compact SUV that's going to get tremendous fuel mileage, Randall Ford's loaded up with those too.
Everything, SUVs, crossovers, midsize, hybrid. Come give us a shot.
There you go. Come by and ask for Ray.
Ask for Ray the Jumper.
There you go. Stop by and see us. We're at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Fourth oldest Ford dealership in America, my friends. 114 plus years and going strong today. Fourth generation owned and awful proud to be a part of the Fort Smith community. Come see us at Randall Ford.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. ESPN Arkansas is headed behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Our coverage is presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. You can visit us at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas. First Community Bank now has 32 locations across Arkansas and southern Missouri to serve you.
Baby loves me, yes, yes she does. All the girls out of sight, yeah. Says she loves me, yes, yes she does. Gonna show me tonight, yeah. She got the way to move me, cherry. She got the way to move me. She got the way to move me, cherry, baby. She got the way to move me. All right.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, fast approaching the second hour of Halftime here, right in the middle of your week, so we are over the hump shortly. And let's finish this first hour here with a reset.
Reset and refresh.
Reset. The great reset.
It's time for the Halftime Reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on the get back here.
Now, here's Phil Elson with your Halftime Reset.
Arkansas women's basketball was selected in a tie for 5th in the SEC by the coaches. Came out this morning. South Carolina, which is the consensus preseason number 1 across the country, is picked to win the league again. Tennessee, LSU, Alabama rounding out the top 4 again. This is according to the coaches. Arkansas and Mississippi State are tied with the 5th most votes. The media put Arkansas 4th in the league. Player of the year, preseason pick, no surprise, Aaliyah Boston may end up being the Player of the Year across the country for the second year in a row. Michaela Daniels did get chosen to the second team All-SEC by SEC women's basketball coaches. Nick Smith is on the Jerry West watch list, one of 20 players for the top shooting guard in the nation. This came out from the Jerry West Watch List Award Committee yesterday. Antonio Reeves and Cason Wallace of Kentucky are also on the list. Isaiah Mosley of Mizzou and Santiago Vescovi of Tennessee rounding out the SEC players that are also on the Jerry West Watch List. 3 NBA games involving Arkansas Razorbacks yesterday. There was another DNP for Jalen Williams. Second time it's happened in the first 4 games with the Thunder. Isaiah Joe got less than a minute. OKC beats the Clips 108-94. Daniel Gafford continues to play very well off the bench for the Washington Wizards, was plus 19 in 20 minutes, scored 9 points, grabbed 5 boards, blocked a couple of shots. The Wizards improved to 3-1 with a 120-99 win over the Pistons. Moses Moody got 25 minutes of action yesterday, and the Warriors 134-105 loss to Phoenix. Klay Thompson was ejected. That's one reason why Moody was out there that long. Moses 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 blocks, finished 4 for 9 shooting. And we did have yesterday, there apparently was an announcer's jinx moment. Kevin Harlan apparently got the blame for this.
Steph Curry is at the line. He has not missed this year.
Kevin.
Why?
Kevin,
why? So why? He's 22.
That is you, Kevin.
I am so sorry. He was 22 of 22. I'm not a dealer in superstition.
Yep. Look at Steph. Look at Steph. That's right. He knows exactly what we're talking about.
That's funny.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen
You always
Curry,
double down on
calling
11.
out Kevin Harlan.
He missed another shot later on in the game, and Reggie Miller blamed it on Kevin Harlan again. Because why would you ever blame it on the person who actually shot the shot?
Man, that trade they got when they got Wiggins, when they lost Durant and they were able to get Wiggins, that was, I don't know if that was talked about enough. He's just so smooth and just, I mean, he goes about it so effortlessly, and I don't know what the knock. He's a Canadian. I guess he's too nice. That was kind of his knock, right? He's just too nice. But I remember the debate was him and Jaquil Okafor when he was coming out of Duke, and it's like it's a no-brainer. You take Andrew Wiggins all day, and man, he's fun to watch, man. He's just talented and makes it look easy out there. And he's kind of what you see out of a Nick Smith. Maybe he could be somebody like if you told Nick Smith right now you could have Andrew Wiggins and be that good, that would be amazing. Like Andrew Wiggins, all-star. He's a baller, man.
See, Wiggins scored 16 points for the Warriors yesterday, but that's their second loss. 2 wins, 2 losses. And I saw on the TNT postgame show that Charles Barkley thinks that Father Time is catching up with the NBA champions.
Hey, Draymond Green is he only played 40-something games last year, I think. He's getting older, so they're definitely getting older. But man, you don't want them in a series with Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry's still the best shooter in the game.
It's all about getting into the tournament. That's exactly right. And there is no such thing as an announcer jinx. You already knew that, though. 877-377-6963. We'll throw open the phone lines as we move into the second hour of halftime here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the middle to upper 60s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low in the upper 30s to low 40s. Thursday, lots of sunshine. Our high will be in the low 60s north, upper 60s south. And then it looks like Friday we'll see a chance of a few showers. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, you're
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Middle of the week here on Halftime, and the phone lines are open. We'll have Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in the next segment. Bill King in hour number 3. Plenty of time for calls and texts, so if you want to get with us, 877-377-6963. A text in here from Mr. Pibb, and I don't pay attention to the FPI predictions on the games. Honestly, I don't even know where to find them on the ESPN website. I know Ruskin and Zach pay close attention to that, and we'll bring it up. I mean, FPI apparently is picking Auburn to win this game as a favorite, and the money's on Arkansas. So, I mean, the only thing I can think of why FPI would, and again, this is a computer that's making this choice. It's not a human being. It's just because it's a road game for Arkansas, and no other reason at all.
When's the last? So we're 0-6 the last Auburn, and I don't think it matters. 5 years ago what happened, but when is our last true road win with this squad? That would be an in conference where we went to somebody's field and whooped them a little bit.
I think it was LSU last year.
That's the last. So it's we're due. So we're due. But that would be. I would agree 100% with you. If you were betting, if you were just trying to win money, you would have to take Auburn in the 5 points, right? Like if you were in that. I'm not in that world. Like as far as I would lose. I'd just take my money from my left pocket and put it in my right pocket. Just so I have it, but that would be the bet. I think you would have to take a home team in conference game with the bye week getting 5 points. Like everything would point to you take Auburn.
Well, the line's down to 3.5.
3.5. Okay,
it dropped there yesterday. I thought it was going to get up to 5 because it was up to 4.5 for a day there, but no, it's dropped down a little bit. Maybe some of the bettors are paying attention to FPI, but I can't figure out why. And Mr. Pibb also asked about Sark apologizing for not doing the school song or, the Eyes of Texas. It's not the alma mater, but it is the school song. And was there a story that came out? I mean, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't say something about it unless there was a little bit of an outcry or somebody said to him, hey, you missed something important after the ball game, and it wasn't necessarily the final score. So you got to say something about that. Like when that's the first thing that's brought up at the Monday press conference, someone said something to him. So you got to do this.
Yeah, you got to cover yourself. That's exactly right. But I'd be worried about my defense and my offense not scoring any points. That's what we need to get back in there in the film room. But you can learn that in Spanish and English.
That's right. Brad in Fayetteville asked about Deion Sanders. I mean, there is the thought Deion's going to be he already is a Division I head coach. I mean, like
Power 5 though.
Power 5 coach. An SEC coach. Ask about Auburn or A&M if they fire their coaches. What do you think?
If I'm Texas, Oh yeah, we're talking about Auburn, not Texas firing their coach. We're talking about
or
Auburn.
A&M. Yeah.
A&M. Oh my goodness! If I'm Deion Sanders, I'm trying to get to Texas A&M. I mean, if they call, I'm taking that job right away. I think Deion translates and resonates with the younger crowd 100% with the kids. The thing I would want to go play for Deion. The fact that how talented he was. You got to think something, and he seems to be in that group of, because I think his kids are about the same age, so he's still in touch and in tune, and to be that good at what he did and excel. I mean, he's an NFL Hall of Famer, and to have that, he's prime time. Think about him in the '80s to now. If he was coming up, how big of a stud he was, playing both sports there at Florida State. I think that his swagger, his charisma, his what he has, that if you're A&M, that's a no-brainer. I mean, especially if he's going to be the guy that's just your head coach and you're going to have an offensive and defensive coordinator. Not what Jimbo, they're saying he got to bring in an offensive coordinator. But if you want Deion as your front of your franchise, of who you are, man, I think you could get a lot of recruits who would want to go play for Deion Sanders.
Well, and also somebody that is just automatically can deal with that spotlight. I mean,
it's not, the pressure's not too big, huh? Yeah.
Every time Deion Sanders stepped on a field, he was the biggest name, and that's because of how good he was at two sports. I mean, think he was the face of sports in the city of Atlanta for like 4 or 5 years there, which is saying something. Looking at some of the other players that were on the Braves back then, but I mean, he'd be immediately used to the spotlight. The pressure, it's just it's so rare. It feels so rare for somebody who is so good on a professional level. I mean, in the NFL, to be this, to be able to connect immediately with the youth of today and coach them at the same time. Like, that's the thing. You'll point to like a Mario Cristobal, great recruiter, maybe not the best coach. And right now, I think Jimbo's getting that exact same notoriety of being able to bring in some talented players, but not quite sure what you're doing with them once they get there.
In Auburn, they recruit that Atlanta area good. Yeah, I mean, if you're Auburn, yeah, I think that would be a good hire. And he was the #1 recruit in the country. He knows how to deal with that pressure. He knows what comes with that. He was you're exactly right. The magnifying glass was on him. It was kind of him and Bo Jackson were the two sport athletes, and Bo got hurt, and then you had the Deion Sanders years, and then you had Cordell Stewart / coming up after that. But man, I would, if I was a young kid and Deion Sanders was calling and wanting you to come to his school, you got to take a visit and see what it's all about. 100%.
All right, let's go to the phones. We got Charlie with us here. If you want to get on the air with us, 877-377-6963. Hi, Charlie. Happy Wednesday. What's up?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? You mean, Phil, they got this FPI thing that where a computer is smarter than a human being and it's not rigged or anything? I mean, it knows more than we know as far as picking Auburn over us?
I think it's going by a certain set of statistics, and it'll weight certain statistics over the other. But I also think it's like there's I don't know how they set up this algorithm or whatever it is, but you know how right? You know how like Vegas looks at things. Like there's automatically a 3-point swing just because of where the game is being played.
Yeah.
And I imagine in the computer program, they've got a little bit of the same thing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If it's a line of scrimmage game, Auburn ain't winning this game. We're better up front on both sides. I think that's, if we don't commit penalties, if we don't turn the ball over, if we don't, have, blunders on special teams, if we handle our business, and I think Matt pointed it out yesterday, like I don't think you have to go down there and just, I would like Malik to get in the game and all that, but I don't think you have to go out down there and just like open the playbook up so much that you just give them everything, give them a reverse double pass, I think you can go down there and handle them at the line of scrimmage at a high level because I don't think they're as good as we are up front. I mean, it's just that simple, and that's what football's about. It's just going to come down to if Arkansas makes mistakes or not, and if they don't, they're going to win this game. Also, guys, you guys were talking about Deion. Man, please don't wish that on him. You know, I love Deion, man. He's a Cowboy, former Cowboy. I don't want him down. You mean he's got to be an Aggie?
Hey, I'm just saying if I was a Power 5 anywhere, he can go to UCLA.
I know. He's that good. I
just
agree
don't
with
know
you.
if he's in any rush.
Then he'd
You know
be
what I
beating
mean?
Arkansas for 4 years in a row. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just don't want him to have to show up to that darn pepper alley thing they do on Friday night. Basti, I love Deion, man. I'll take Auburn, but please don't let him come to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
stay out of Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that as an Arkansas fan. I mean, he would do great there. I think you give him that much talent that Jimbo has now. I agree, he would 100%. I think you guys made a good point though about him relating to the area that we're in. You know, also the NIL stuff. I mean, he understands it. We all know old Primetime gets that. He's a businessman too, so he fits right in with this day and age. And he reminds me of Muss, but I'm not talking about Muss from the standpoint of, I don't think Muss was the greatest basketball player ever, but I just think Muss relates to this.
He gets it, right? Yeah, he get like when they got kids, who's the kid that painted his nails and he's like, man, if that's what they want to do, let's go have a good practice though. Like there wasn't any weirdness about it. It's just like, dude, if that's what you're into, let's go have a good practice now.
Yeah, Deion was a trendsetter when it came to fashion for athletes. I don't remember seeing like the biggest rock on an athlete's ear,
and the big LL Cool J necklace he would have. Yeah, the big gold. Right. Yeah.
Did you guys see the Halloween, the Reese's thing that Muss did on Twitter before the game the other day?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by getting it. Not many people can pull that off. You know, bring up a Halloween theme and, you know, I mean, it sounded like a true story to me, but, you know, his dad was a competitive guy, so not many people can relate that to that and then, you know, scream and holler at you and get you going the way he does. He's not only an unbelievable X's and O's guy, but he gets this generation, so, and he can relate to the players. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. I'll hang up with you.
Good to hear from you, Charlie. 877-377-6963 if you want to follow that up. I mean, Deion's an entertainer. That's one thing he is too. I mean, he was an entertainer as an athlete. He's been an entertainer since he finished being an athlete. He's good on camera. He's good in person with these kids. And he's winning, he's winning in a place at Jackson State where there's pressure on you there. I will say this. If I was a college football head coach, and all things being equal, I would treat the Auburn football job like a broken down nuclear reactor. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with that place.
They're a mess right now, and to hear Grant talk about how the Gus's record when they let him go. Who are you going to get? See, when you let somebody go, it's like, well, who are we going to get in place? You know, I understand if you have to fire somebody for some reason, but if you're just choosing to let them go, are you making an upgrade? Are you buying somebody out and then you're going to go to what this is now? Whew.
I mean, they won a national title because they had Cam Newton at quarterback. Gus got them to the championship game with a good quarterback, but not at that level.
The Arkansas's Michael Dyer.
And they got rid of him. I mean, Gus was successful there. Couple of so-so years just weren't enough.
Is he at Miami now or UCF?
UCF, that's right.
Yeah.
Auburn's never going to reach to the level of Alabama while Nick Saban is there. Not now. They might have had a chance. 7-8 years ago. It's a different lay of the land now. They're not going to get there. I don't know about A&M, but I think A&M would be a little closer than Auburn. I know they don't have the history or tradition of playing for championships or anything like that. I see A&M as a place that can still end up being the best football team in the state of Texas. I don't see Auburn as being the best football team in the state of Alabama.
And TCU might be the best team in the state of Texas right now.
Well, record-wise, they certainly look like it.
Yeah, I mean, that A&M job, man, that would be a big one.
Let's take Cody's phone call, then the break, and Alyssa Orange is coming up next. Hey, Cody, what's up?
Hey, not a whole lot. Hey, man, I wanted to call because I didn't get to yesterday. I watched the highlights and listened to the game for the Razorbacks. I think we're going to – I don't know if I've ever seen a team as talented as what we've got And then you talk about the shooting, and people don't think the shooting is that great. Man, Nick Smith's got a pure stroke. Black doesn't. But Joseph Pinion, when they play a zone defense on us, you need a shooter like that, because what that does is they know there's a shooter on the court. So it stretches the court. What you're going to have is you got somebody like Brazil who's going to jump out of the roof. You're going to see oops. You're going to see a more efficient zone offense in that situation. Now, if it's man-to-man, you may not see a bunch of Pinion because Pinion's not as athletic as the other guys. But as far as answers go, what Musselman's great at is X's and O's. So when they play zone, Pinion's going to open up the court for him to be effective with the sets he calls. So, man, truthfully, we've never had somebody that was a sharpshooter since Muss has been here. Now we've got people that can literally play 1 through 5, like Matt referred to yesterday or referenced to. We can switch 1 through 4 without any question on the court. And, man, it's super exciting. And, it's good because we're not even halfway through football season and we haven't had a great season. But you can feel the energy for basketball. And it's just super exciting, man. I'm really excited. And I think Musselman we can put whatever we want on Muss. Muss cares more than we do. And he's not going to let himself fail. He believes in what he does. You can tell that guy has purpose. He's doing what he was meant to do. And I think he's found a home. We talked about this a couple months ago. We're about to overtake Kentucky. As long as Muss is at Arkansas, we will be the perennial team in the SEC. And it feels damn good, boys. But I just wanted to drop that in because I feel pretty confident right now in our basketball program. And it's been a while since we had confidence in something like this besides baseball. But I appreciate y'all's time. I know y'all are up against it, and y'all have a good day, okay?
Good phone call, Cody. Appreciate about that. I think you look at the body of work the last 2 years. Arkansas is the top basketball program in the SEC, and they and Kentucky are going to be going up against each other a couple of times, maybe even 3 when it's all said and done here in the upcoming basketball season. Quick break on halftime, joined by Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation. Next.
It's finally time. Game day on the hill. It's time to write our chapter in the history books. It's time for the hog walk. It's time for the hog calls. It's time for the roar of Razorback City.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire.
The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation joining us on Halftime here. Always appreciate your time, Alyssa. So Sam Pittman says he's not paying attention to the record. He doesn't check out final scores. When it comes to the opponent, he says Auburn is a, quote, very scary team, unquote. Said that on the teleconference this morning. What about Auburn do you think makes them very scary?
Well, I think right now you just have to look at kind of the history between Arkansas and Auburn, and they just always play this game really well. I mean, you could look back at last year, and everyone thought that was going to be a shoo-in win for the Razorbacks, and Auburn came up to Fayetteville and handed that game, controlled that game pretty handedly. So you go down to Auburn, which is a place that has not been kind to Arkansas. You don't know exactly what you're going to get. Sam says they're as healthy as they've been since the season started. That's good news, but you still don't know what that looks like because you haven't seen it. And then they still have guys like Hank Bigsby who can run, and they have some wide receivers and an Arkansas secondary that is still questionable. So football is football. It's why you play it on the field, and there are just some factors in this game where it could go either way. I think the line, right, is like 3 or 4 points right now. I mean, Vegas thinks this is going to be a pretty close game.
You know, I mean, you mentioned the thing out of everything that really would concern me about Auburn is that they've got guys that can run the ball, Bigsby, Ashford, and Hunter, and they can break a lot of tackles. And tackling has been an issue for Arkansas at times, and I think they're going to play against the run. So I mean, if there's a couple missed tackles up near the line of scrimmage, who knows? They could end up busting a couple of long runs there. That's out of everything. That's the thing that concerns me because Auburn has had a lot of trouble stopping the run. They can't throw the ball very much. If they do against Arkansas, then there's a major problem. But it's their ability to run the ball and maybe break off some long runs that concerns me the most.
Yeah, I think so. And I think I'm interested to see how this defense approaches that, right, Phil? So are they going to go to that 3-down, prevent defense where they've got all those guys in the backfield because they don't want to give up a big play, which is what they did at Mississippi State? Or are you going to kind of really have a 4-man front and really try to say we're going to stop Auburn from running the football. And if they throw the ball on us and have a play here or there, we're okay with it, as long as they're not running for 250 as a team against us. I'm curious to see. I would assume that that's what their approach is going to be on Saturday. But that defensive line for the Razorbacks has got to have help in terms of having guys there blitzing, being able to stop the run, because at Mississippi State they just struggled because there's just three of them, and you're just outnumbered with three guys on the line. And the way that Mississippi State was able to run the ball. So they have got to be able to slow them down, because I don't think that Auburn passing game scares anyone, and that's what you kind of have to bank on defensively.
Hey, Alyssa, this Ole Miss Texas A&M game. Texas A&M's they haven't won a game in I think the last three since they beat Arkansas. Ole Miss finally they took an L. What do you like in this matchup? Do you think Ole Miss could lose a second game in a row? A&M maybe gets back to its winning ways.
Hey, Matt, remind me, is that game in Oxford or is it in College Station?
College Station. Kyle Field.
Okay, see, so I think that this might be a little bit of a game for Texas A&M to kind of get back in that win column because it's at home. If it was in Oxford, I'd give the edge to Ole Miss. But I think because they're back in College Station, they've got to get back to winning if they're going to make a bowl game. Jimbo Fisher is well aware that this season has to be salvaged some way. And Ole Miss, they just had a loss, and I think LSU exposed some things, which I don't think any of us anticipated LSU being the team to expose some of the weaknesses for Ole Miss. I think you give the edge to Texas A&M on this one because they have home field advantage, and they're going to have to start playing with their backs against the wall if they want to have a postseason. And not that Ole Miss doesn't, and Ole Miss is playing. It's not that they're playing more relaxed by any means, but it's dangerous when these teams start to feel like their backs against the wall.
A lot of talk about coaches on the proverbial hot seat in the SEC, obviously, with Harsin and with Jimbo Fisher. I want to ask you about Mike Norvell at Florida State, your alma mater. Yeah, they started out hot, 4-0, but they've lost 3 in a row to good teams. And looking ahead, Georgia Tech's been playing much better. You never know what you get out of Miami. Syracuse put up quite the fight last week. Probably should have beat Clemson, and then they finished with Florida. So, is this right. is Norvell also on the hot seat? And I'll add something to that. We talked last segment about Deion Sanders and the jobs that maybe he would be looking for. You think Deion might hold out for Florida State? You
took the words right out of my mouth there, Phil. So I heard from some people yesterday, with people in North Florida and what's going on, and hearsay is hearsay that maybe the Norvell stuff isn't going as people thought. Though they started 4-0, you lose those 3 games, and they were in those games. I would have made a different choice in that Clemson game. I'd have kicked the field goal, not gone for it on 4th down there in the second quarter. But they still were able to. That was just a 7-point game. You've got Georgia Tech, who doesn't have a head coach right now. But again, Florida State just plays Georgia Tech weird. You've got a night game against Missouri. They do have Louisiana in there, so I'm going to say that's a win. But if you're Deion Sanders and you're coming out saying, hey, if a Power 5 school wants to hire me, hello, cough, cough, alma mater, what do? Do you say, okay, Norvell, we weren't going to part ways, but now that Deion Sanders is knocking on the door, we got to take him up this time. I think he wanted that job when Willie Taggart and Mike Norvell were hired, but he didn't have any experience as a head coach on the college level. But now he does. And then you think about this. There was all that uproar when he was able to take Travis Hunter from Florida State on signing day to Jackson State with him. If he leaves and goes to Florida State, there's a strong possibility he takes a lot of talented kids with him that he's recruited to that school. So it's an interesting thing. I like Mike Norvell. I like what he's doing. I think the team believes in him. I love that he's really trusted Jordan Travis with that team. But it's Deion, and that's a really tricky situation to be in.
It's not a radio show for college football if Willie Taggart's name hasn't come up today. So It's so awesome. When Coach Bielema was hired at Arkansas, I was on the Willie Taggart train. I was like, yeah, man, I thought that was a good hire for you guys at Florida State, and man, I was wrong.
I was wrong too.
Yeah.
I liked the hire a lot. I liked the energy. He came in just with so much passion. And it was kind of like that passion Sam Pittman came in. You're going back to the team that you were a fan of when you were a kid, and it just blew up. Who thought that he was going to get fired before Chad Morris did?
Wow. Yeah, it was man. But yeah, I'm a Dion fan. I think he relates really well with the young kids, and he has kids this age. But he instantly has credibility. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player at a high level. He was a number one recruit in the country, two-sport athlete. Who gets this whole NIL and this magnifying glass better, I think, than a Deion Sanders.
Yeah. And you look about recruiting, right? So I just saw an article a couple hours ago that I guess Billy Napier was able to switch this 4-star offensive lineman from Florida State to Florida, and that was like the big recruiting news out of the state earlier today. But if you're trying to play for Dion, that might not happen as much. And I know that seems superficial, but that is a big part of college football and getting guys on campus and committing to you. And I mean, just wanting to play for Deion Sanders, I think you come back and you're in Florida and you automatically have an edge on the recruiting trail. And maybe some of those flips don't happen as much.
Alyssa, Saturday, never mind the Auburn football game. We need highlights of the basketball exhibition game. We're not getting anything on television in Arkansas. Nothing.
I know.
But the stations in Texas probably are there. Please tell us you've got something worked out with an affiliate down there so we can see some highlights.
Absolutely. So our affiliate KXAN, I actually texted Roger, their sports director, last week, was like, hey, man, you guys going to be at this? And he was like, absolutely, unless this MLS team that they have in Austin starts winning. But I don't know where they stand on that now that it's not on TV. I'm pretty sure that Roger's going to have someone there. I even looked, Phil, at what it would cost to send one of my people to Austin because it wasn't on TV and because it is such a huge game with so much draw from the fans, but it just wasn't able to work out. So, yes, we will be getting stuff from our affiliate in Austin, and we will be getting it up for everyone to see as soon as possible.
Austin FC is pretty good this year. They're in second. I was
going to say, Matt's
second
our resident soccer guy.
They are.
He could give us a report on them.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was like, this team is winning. So, like, the only thing that's stopping them from being there the whole time at the basketball game is the MLS team.
So we got our bye week over with. Like, there wasn't anything last week. I think there was like maybe a volleyball match. There was a soccer match, a little golf. That was it. Now, 31 consecutive weeks with Razorback Athletics of basketball, baseball, football, and of course you cover, a lot of the other things that are going on campus there. So it's time for, what is it? It's like an 8-month sprint now, Alyssa, and I know you're ready for it.
Yep. Yeah, buckle up, man. I hope you guys got to kind of have a bye week, too. I did. I only worked like 2 days last week. I took my own bye week. Now I'm ready to go. Recharge.
Yes, I'm ready. I was telling Phil, I was like, man, it's game week. Let's go get it.
Well, I had a great week with the kids, and then over the weekend we did a zip line tour in Hot Springs, and then we went to Magic Springs for Magic Screams on Sunday. But the weekend ended. This is not the way anybody wants to finish their weekend. But, Alyssa, you've got kids, so you probably know what this is like. Poor Gabe got spun around in a teacup-like ride just before we got in the car. He'd eaten a Mexican lunch, a lot of candy. The car doesn't smell great at the moment. I've been working on this for 3 days, and I'll have to continue working on it. Alyssa, I know that's happened. You don't have to get into details, but you know what that's like.
Yeah, have you tried baking soda?
Yes, all over the place.
Oh,
and
man.
a few other things,
oh,
too.
Man. Yeah, we were driving to Kansas City in August to go watch the Dodgers play the Royals, and we get, luckily, to just that Pinnacle Hills exit, and I look back, and Bella just throws up all over herself. And I was like, take the exit, ran into Target, and the family trying to clean it up, just had to ditch the old car seat, bought a new car seat, had to change her. It was a mess. Saul was actually on the phone with an interview candidate. It was a mess.
Yeah, it's parenthood.
And
man.
then it was like, what if she'd have done that like in Nowhere, Missouri? We'd have been totally up the creek.
Just open the window, for crying out loud. It's like Billy Joel said, these are the times we remember. That's exactly right. Appreciate you, Alyssa. Thank you, and we'll see you this weekend.
Guys, always fun. Appreciate you.
Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation joining us here on Halftime. Brought to you by The Fence Man. The Fence Man is the company that you should trust when it comes to building your next fence. They can custom build new gates for an existing fence. They got an easy process. It's quick. And most importantly, it's affordable. You ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with The Fence Man. So if you need a new fence, gates, or anything that involves a fence, give The Fence Man a call at 479-782-3936. The Fence Man ain't afraid of no work. I might have to make a scheduling appointment with a car detailer at some point. The inside much more than the outside. A much better smelling segment of Halftime is next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You know when you see a great deal on the phone and then you find out it's not for you? Not at Verizon.
They just gave us all a new iPhone 13.
So we both got the same great deal.
Yep.
Get iPhone 13 on us with select trade-in and 5G unlimited plans for every customer. Current, new, everyone. To show the love. Only from Verizon. $799.99, 128 gigabytes only. Device payment purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source, LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source, LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source, LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source, LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street, across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC, no problem.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Morning, that's the day I was born in that old sharecropper's one-room country shack. They say my mammy left me same day that she had me. Said she hit the road and never once looked back. And I just thought I'd mention my grandma's old age pension is the reason why I'm standing here today. I got all my country learning, milking and a churning, digging, cotton raising, hailing, baling hay. I've been to Georgia on a fast train, honey.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I remember when he told me he's coming to the dark side. You know, he's coming to the defensive side, and it's been a pleasure having him in the room. You stand on the sideline when he's out in practice, you see him making plays and he's flying around, being around the ball. It's enjoyable to see, you know, somebody come over to our side of the ball and embrace the culture that we have over here and embrace who we are as a defense.
That was Isaiah Nichols yesterday at the players' press conferences talking about Sam Mbake, who moved over, in his words, to Matt, the dark side. I guess that's what the defensive players referred to the defense as.
The black shirts. Remember Nebraska had the black shirts? Yeah. Defensive players are different, man. They're different breeds. They're
Did you view
trained.
that? Did you view them the same way as like being the dark side when you were playing?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's what you want though. You want, man, I loved our defense. You talk about some of our players, Ken Hamlin, Tony Bua, just to name a couple. I mean, golly. In junior high and high school type things, the defensive players would wear their practice jersey over their game jersey because it was different. Like they're just a different cat, man. They're trained assassins, man. They want to hurt you. They want to inflict pain. They just want to go hit, man. Defensive players are just a different breed.
There must have been a few of those guys who'd just be like, you know what, like they're my teammate, I love them and everything, but I just don't need to cross paths with this.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Yeah. So you see the program where he's like starting place at the table, man, and just bangs his head against the car window. You know, it's like that's the defensive players for you.
Well, I mean, in sports where there's a divide between two sides of the ball, and you know they view each other differently. It's like it's a different mindset. I guess I expected though that offensive linemen might have a little bit of that, you know, like nasty streak.
You get it, yeah. They have to. Offensive linemen have to, yeah. But you have to kind of. Offensive linemen's a little more. I don't know. Everything's so complex though. But you know, you're changing the play a lot more. You're doing a lot more things on the side. But your defensive linemen are they're freaks. You remember Javon Curse? His nickname's the Freak. You know, they are just. What's your boy out there at San Francisco, Bosa? You see his arms last week, man? That dude is jacked, man.
Triple Popeye going.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and so. What about the special teams players, and not the guys that are lining up and trying to make tackles and blocks and that? I mean the kickers. Like when I deal with baseball, there's this vein through baseball where the position players, hitters, some of them don't view pitchers as athletes. Bubba Carpenter is one of them. And I mean, because they don't have to hit. They don't have to run the bases and that kind of thing. And they're theoretically are just heavier pitchers than there are position players. I mean, I know in some cases, a lot of cases, even at a station you worked before, where a football player on either side of the ball will look at a place kicker or a punter and be like, that's not a football player, but he's still part of the team. I wonder, I mean, did you, not the way that you viewed it, but was there that sort of divide where they felt like the kicker and the punter weren't necessarily football guys? You
could have some of that. You are all part of a team for a common purpose, but I'd even take it to a way where you kind of have that in your specialty stuff, but as long as you're doing your job, that's all you want. But even 20 years ago, the quarterbacks were almost not considered athletes. Like it's kind of
that's the next thing I was going to ask about.
It was kind of, you had your option guys. Every quarterback that was coming up in college 20 years ago that was a runner is like, well, he can't play quarterback at the next level because he's this. That was the kind of the thing. And you had Steve Young. There was a couple of them that could do it, but it just seems is that like Cordell Stewart, talking about him earlier, like he had his chance that way, and Ryan Tannehill, I think, kind of did the same thing at A&M, did a little quarterback and receiver.
How do you view what's happened recently in the NFL with some of these what feels like bogus roughing the passer calls, where it didn't look like the quarterback was really in any danger whatsoever, and the defender was just kind of making a tackle, but they got flagged for roughing the passer? What have you thought of this rule?
I still think they should be able to play football, and it's a collision sport, so the nature of it is you're going to have contact. It's just I think that these owners see the bottom dollar, where what does it do me any good to have my starting quarterback? There's not 32 people on this planet that are NFL starting quarterbacks. We understand that. So when you get one, we're trying to make all the rules where he can stay out there and we can put a good product out on the field, which I get that point. But, I mean, I like for football players to be football players. And the nature of the game is you're going to hit each other in the head. So get the best equipment and let's go play. But it's almost like either take all the pads off altogether. How about just go out there and do like rugby? If we're worried about it, that way you can't fly around and go hit people that hard if you don't have gear on. If we're just playing with no pads on, maybe you can't do that. So I don't know. The way it's going, I think it's the player's safety a little bit that way, but man, you're going to have concussions. It's just part of it's the nature of the game. I'd kind of like to see them be able to. I mean, it's a physical sport. It's a collision sport. To take that away, it's just kind of. But you don't want your quarterback. You remember the Bears were so good a few years ago. Had that defense, Jay Cutler. They were like 8-1 or 9-0, and then he throws the interception and goes down there and tries to tackle him, and then hurts his thumb. And then he's out for the rest of the year, and you're just like, then you don't see quarterbacks trying to tackle anymore after an interception. Right. It's like, well, we can't have you getting hurt now. So quarterbacks are kind of in that category too sometimes.
On defense, I just can't imagine. I mean, one of the toughest things in all of sports to do is to just be a defender in the NFL and not get flagged for a hit on somebody that is moving and trying to avoid your hit at the same time. It just feels like it's a crapshoot sometimes. Frank in Fayetteville has given us a call. Let's take the phone call, then we'll break and wrap up the second hour. Hey, Frank, thanks for the call. What's up?
Well, I'll refrain from comments about the NFL and their defensive people hitting the quarterbacks. I won't comment on that. I have a strong opinion. I played linebacker in high school and fullback, and I was also a kicker. But the reason I'm calling is kickers are athletes. You look at McAfee for the Colts. Take a look at one of his highlight reels. He put a lot of licks on some people when he was kicking.
You had that punter for the Raiders that's athletic. Sebastian Janikowski was pretty athletic.
Shane Leckler, you remember him?
Yeah.
A punter who would go and make tackles. Usually it's like an Australian that goes and makes the tackles.
Yeah. But, I mean, you look at it, some of these guys, they kick and then they get out of the way. But, there's those kickers that get out there and they might can step in and play linebacker sometimes too, or cornerback, Not many, but there are some.
Well, I've seen some fat kickers in college football this year. I don't know if they'd play linebacker necessarily, but they can definitely put their backside into the football.
They got that freshman 15 going on. They've been drinking a little too much, yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for letting me take my call there. Y'all have a good day, man.
All right, Frank, appreciate you standing up for all the kickers. And I wasn't the one. I think they're athletes. I can't do what they do.
It's kind of a bonus when you're at like we talked about Connor Nolan yesterday. Like it's kind of a bonus when your guy is really athletic and plays, but you do kind of get specialized a little bit at that position, and it's weird to see.
Hour number 2 wraps up after a quick break on halftime.
Back out of Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my buddy Andrew Brown with me. You know, Andrew, if someone is in the market, they're looking for expeditions, Randall Ford has several to choose from.
Dude, we have tons of expeditions here. Not only that, we have used ones, and also we have a new one out here.
You know, that's something that not a lot of dealerships have the luxury of having.
You don't see much new around here anymore, so, I mean, this thing won't last long at all here.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. If someone's looking for an Explorer, you have some new ones, and you have several pre-owns to choose from.
Honestly, you hit the spot right there because we need to get rid of these Explorers. We got so many of them.
Someone's looking for a truck. You got just a few, don't you, buddy?
Dude, overpacked is an understatement.
There you go. More for the trade?
More for your trade, always.
That hot air from the other dealerships blowing around the River Valley, but there's no hot air here, right?
Never. We're always straightforward with ours.
There you go. Come see us, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith at Randall Ford.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Party Place is in their new location at 1415 South Zero. 50% off Halloween decor. Hurry in while supplies last. The largest party supply store in Arkansas. Costumes starting at $9.99. Large animatronics, masks, wigs, fog machines, lights, and more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders. Now in their new location, 1415 South Zero by Atwoods.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Don't you ever be sad. Lean on me and I go back when the day comes.
sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, it looks like another Auburn player has left the program. A.D. Diamond, a redshirt freshman defensive back, left the team, according to Brian Harsin at the Wednesday coaches teleconference this morning. Let's look down the story here. They have now lost 9 of the 18 signees that came into the program last year.
Whoa.
Same coach, man.
Whoa.
Same coach.
Whoa. I wonder what empty promises or just not winning, or I wonder what's going on there.
Well, he already had his red shirt, so I don't think that this, the whole thing Harson's doing here, that the only red shirt he's going to allow is one that he says you're going to get, or a medical red shirt. There are no requests that are being honored by Brian Harsin. So they lost 5 of the top 10 prospects out of the 2021 Class 2. This is also for a program that has been dragged through the mud as far as their recruiting practices or the intensity of their recruiting. There was a story in The Athletic a couple of weeks ago, Matt, that just showed the differences between the two SEC football programs in Alabama and the way they recruit, the relationships that they've built. Obviously, Nick Saban's got a lot more of a track record there than Brian Harsin does, but it doesn't sound like the effort was really there on Harson's case throughout a good chunk of the state of Alabama. And even with that now, he's lost half of last year's recruiting class. If you could imagine if that would happen at Arkansas, what the feeling would be across the fan base.
Yeah, we don't have the numbers for that for sure. And Danny West, when we had him on yesterday talking about that transfer portal, that's just a different world now that I don't really know a whole lot about. He's saying how everything moves faster. And, if you're counting on a lot of freshmen to play on your team, you're probably not going to win in the SEC. I mean, but you'll be good next year if you can keep them. But is that big, you think, Phil, that these kids come in now and they just I don't want to play the first year? Like, most kids want to get out there and play, so it's weird if some of them want to redshirt. Why wouldn't you want them to redshirt? Because they want to transfer else and still have that year eligibility. That's a big thing.
The whole thing. The idea is if they say they're in a redshirt now, then they're going to get, I guess in his mind, go into the transfer portal, once the season is over. And I didn't realize this, but a school that fires their coach, the players get a 30-day window from that moment to go into the transfer portal. Harson's a dead man walking, so he's not going to be the head coach, I think, after the season.
Yeah.
So they're keeping him there for as long as they possibly can. And we're going to keep you here for another hour of halftime right after this break. Get with us at 877-377-6963, and we're coming right back.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the middle to upper 60s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low in the upper 30s to low 40s. Thursday, lots of sunshine. Our high will be in the low 60s north, upper 60s south. And then it looks like Friday we'll see a chance of a few showers. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Well, this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
A couple days away from the start of the 2022 World Series. And I saw this is an interesting little note. I don't know how little of a note it is. You think of all the players, the Major League Baseball draft started in what, 1966. The NFL started their draft way before that. You go to 1936 when the NFL started their draft. Neither professional football or Major League Baseball have had a player who was picked first overall in a draft that won Rookie of the Year his first year in that major league, and then eventually went on to win an MVP and a championship in their career. It's never happened in the NFL. It's never happened in Major League Baseball, but Bryce Harper has the chance to do that. First overall pick, 2010, and won Rookie of the Year as a teenager, MVP with the Nats a couple years later, and now helping lead the Phillies into the World Series with a chance to win this championship. And I guess I'd have thought that it would have happened in baseball maybe once or twice. There have been a couple of guys that came close. Darryl Strawberry didn't win an MVP, but he finished like a couple of votes short of Kirk Gibson in '88. And Chipper Jones had the MVP in the World Series, but he finished second in the Rookie of the Year balloting when he got up to the big leagues, I think when he was 19 or 20. And then, Matt, I mean, you can figure out the reason why it's never happened in football.
I thought John Elway, that was my first that came to mind, and so I looked up in '83. You know who won Rookie of the Year in '83?
Marino.
Eric Dickerson. He had 1,808 rushing yards as a rookie in 16 games, dude. Woo.
That's.
But that's who I thought. I mean, it's tough. I don't even know Elway would be a guy. Aaron Rodgers, see, he wasn't the number one overall pick. Alex Smith was that year. It's, you're trying to think it, and if it's a tackle, it's kind of hard to be the rookie of the year. I mean, that's tough to do.
Well, just look for all the years that a quarterback is picked first overall, and you know that 99 times out of 100 that happens, he's going to a terrible team.
Right.
Unless there was some kind of trade executed that, he worked a decent team up to number one, but I don't remember when that's ever happened, if it's ever happened before. Quarterbacks that are, look, let's just be honest here. I don't know the last time a rookie quarterback has won NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. It feels like it actually might be a little bit impossible in some cases. And with baseball, it's like you've got this opportunity to simmer in the minor leagues for a while before you become, somewhat of a finished product. There is no chance to do that in the NFL. None at all.
It's hard. That's a great point in the NFL. I mean, if you're the number one overall pick, I think of David Carr that went to the Houston Texans. And then his brother actually had a decent career, Derek Carr, but he was so gun shy after the first couple of years. Most hits ever by a quarterback and most sacks, and he just got beat up and couldn't play. And he was a heck of a player. And if he could have got to a different team or went to a better team as far as with offensive linemen, it's kind of like he's so good. He's your number one overall pick, but you couldn't protect him, man. He just got and Andrew Luck. Look at some of the hits Andrew Luck took and his shoulder issues, and he is a tough sucker. And then early in his career, he's just getting beat up, but he was so talented. And then it's just I thought he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer by the end of his career. Do you think he makes a Hall of Fame with his short career?
With luck,
does longevity play a role into it?
Yeah, it usually should. I think in order to go into a Hall of Fame, you need to be like one of the best. One of the dominant players for like 7 to 8 years.
Like an era? Yeah, that's about, yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and check out Luck's numbers.
He was
great.
Oh, my goodness. Great. But he's just another one that comes to mind to your point that he's the number one overall pick. He was probably Rookie of the Year. He could have been a guy that could have done it.
See, Justin Herbert won a Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago as a quarterback, not the top overall pick. Kyler Murray did too, not the top overall pick. Yeah, when is it ever going to happen in football? NBA, this is something that's, it's rare, but it's happened 5 times. LeBron, Tim Duncan, Shaq, the Admiral, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We just think of that, though, up until what year was Robinson picked first overall? Was that like 19?
That would have been the 80s. That would have been early 80s.
So up until then, Kareem was the only guy. The only guy to ever do that.
Yeah, where was Wilt drafted? Was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was he not a – this is who we're not talking about Akeem Olajuwon. You are talking about Kareem.
Yeah,
all right.
Kareem,
Lou Alcindor. I got you.
Lou Alcindor
there
was
you
picked
go.
First overall.
The dream shake, though, Akeem Olajuwon, dude. He must have not been a number one overall pick.
No, did you see he's fighting for his life, though, right now?
What happened?
I saw? He's in the hospital. I don't remember exactly what it's about, but I know that this came out over the weekend. He's dealing with something pretty bad.
Yeah, I wish him. How cool? I wish him well. How cool is Tim Duncan though, man? Was he just not cool? He was over it. Just like he's from Fiji. Just wanted to go swim and just better than you at basketball. Like when you talk
remember him as the swimmer from St. Thomas, right?
Dude, yep. You talk about when you're building your all-time starting 5 team. Tim Duncan is in my team, man. That dude he was just unreal there for a couple years. Man, he was so fun to watch. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, those San Antonio Spurs teams, man, they were a lot of fun. Pop, man, they talk about a good interview. You ever talk to Pop? You ever got to any chance?
But his interviews on the courtside during the game are kind of the stuff of legends. You had to imagine. It's like you see this now too. I saw this with Harper after he hit that 8th inning home run to put the Phillies ahead for good in the championship series against the Padres, that after he circles the bases and comes into the dugout, Ken Rosenthal is there with a microphone to speak to him on camera during the game. It's only been like the last 3-4 years that managers would even speak during the game, but it would usually be during inning breaks. It's the first time I remember a reporter being in the dugout in the middle of the game. While the game is being played, not during a commercial break. and actually speaking to him at that moment. I thought it was kind of cool because then you can see the emotion on his face at that very moment. He doesn't have the opportunity to kind of collect himself and give that sanitized version of what just happened. Plus, it's fresh in his mind. I kind of liked it.
What do you think? I like it too when they go in there. Sometimes they're over it a little bit and they don't want to. What do you think Bryce Harper just being a DH, being able to do that this series? Because you're saying there's no chance he's not playing in the field. What does he have? What's his stat line going to have to look like? I mean, obviously they got to win the World Series. He's going to have some big hits, but is it like he's going to have to get double digits RBIs or is it going to be mainly like the timing of his hits if he's hitting 8th inning home runs or 9th inning home runs?
Well, he's been the heart and soul of that team, I think, for a while. But remember, he was out for a good chunk of the year. I don't remember the other injury, but there was another injury, maybe a thumb injury that he dealt with that kept him out for a month or so. They've got other hitters that can help carry. Thinking of JT Real Muto or Rhys Hoskins. Nick Castellanos, when he's on, is one of the best power hitters too, but he's not had a great year. Usually, your dude has to perform in the World Series for you to win it. He does have protection in that lineup. The question would be, like, how often are the Astros going to pitch to him? If you get men on base, there's not going to be much of a choice. So if guys in front of Harper get on base, I think he's going to produce because I just can't see him having the kind of October that he has right now and all of a sudden just going kaput. Like, I still think Houston is the deeper team and wins the series, but I think Bryce Harper will perform just fine.
He's just too talented, and his focus is going to be up. You know he is, and not having to play the field. I wonder how much that helps if you talk to DHs or guys that if they know they're injured, but at least they get to contribute, and that's what he's doing. How much more into it are they that they don't have to go out there into the field, or if it helps or hurts them?
Well, I know a lot of ball players that hated DHing because they felt like it took them out of the game, or kind of tougher to focus when they're just hanging in the dugout instead of going to play a position. But what it allows them to do is to just focus singularly on their next at bat, and they'll have sometimes like an inning or 2-inning process to get them ready for it, which involves going to watch video, getting extra hacks in the cage, leading up to that at-bat. Maybe that's helped them a little bit. And again, it's something that the National League's never done. Outside of 2020, Bryce Harper would not be playing. He had Tommy John surgery. So you folks who like to call yourself purists, if you're a Phillies fan, I bet you love the designated hitter now. I bet you absolutely love the designated hitter now. You also love CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers when you're headed up to Fayetteville for football, for basketball, for baseball, or hey, maybe you just live in the River Valley and you love to stop by the Russellville location at Arkansas Avenue, or you live in Fayetteville and you stop by the Weddington location to get the best burgers, fries, and shakes.
Video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests.
My soul straight down out of the world, but my fingers holding on to the devil. I know all my troubles are hanging your trigger. Take your eyes and your mind from the road. Shoot your mouth if you know you're.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Bill King with us, Nashville Sports Radio, king of college football talk, hosting 6 to 9 in the morning on WNSR. Bill, end of October, how you doing? What's new?
I don't like that it's week 9. It's the fastest regular season on the planet Earth, and it goes faster and faster every year. And I'm not happy about that part, but I'm happy about the entertainment level. It's been a good year.
It has been. Well, hey, it's okay. Next week we finally get the rankings that matter, the college football playoff poll. So, I mean, at least there's that. I know you're more of a BCS guy than the poll, but you know the direction this sport has gone in. So let's see. Georgia and Florida this weekend, and of course there's another big one in the conference with Tennessee. We're going to be tested by Kentucky at Neyland Stadium. What do you make of Kentucky and Tennessee? Because Kentucky kind of, I felt like they showed a little bit last week with that win over Mississippi State. They'd slipped a couple games in a row. Are they any sort of threat to Hendon Hooker and that high-flying Tennessee offense?
If they can maintain their physicality, Chris Rodriguez, who's a fantastic back, can occupy the ball. And obviously we know Will Levis is a good quarterback, and it can't get points. That game can't start running up through the 20s and on up for Kentucky to win. And they're going to need Tennessee to get bogged down offensively, and that really hadn't happened yet against anybody. That's the formula, and it's possible. It's probably not likely. Could it be a good game for a half? I think so. I mean, it probably could be. Got to remember Tennessee's getting Cedric Tillman back.
Right.
And even though the Hyatt kid's playing as well as any receiver on the planet Earth right now, Tillman's considered a better player. And he hadn't been playing, so that'll be interesting too.
Well, you got the other one that really looks like it could be an interesting game is Florida-Georgia, because the Georgia offense has been a little bit shaky of late. Whatever happens against Vanderbilt, fine. But, you go back a couple weeks ago and they barely beat Missouri on the road. Florida's had a real up-and-down sort of a season. Georgia's a 22.5-point favorite, so Vegas isn't giving Florida any chance. But with a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, maybe anything can happen. What's your opinion?
I'll give you the formula. Anthony Richardson is going to have his Cam Newton, Vince Young, Matt Jones kind of game, Superman cape kind of game for them to have a chance. And he runs hot and cold. Now, he's a fantastic athlete. I'm not trying to compare him to those names, including Matt there, but he can be a dominant player. He's just not consistent. They're going to need that. He can't turn the spigot off for them to have a fighting chance. In personnel, guys, they're outmanned. I mean, they've been out-recruited by Georgia for, it feels like a century now, and it's pretty significant. So the 22 points might be a stretch, but Georgia is significantly better than Florida.
Hey, Bill, can I ask you, outside the SEC, that Ohio State-Penn State game, what are your thoughts on that game? Can Penn State beat Ohio State? Have they really beaten anybody that shows you that they can hang with Ohio State this year? They get them at home.
The Michigan game where they got bullied to the tune of 418 rushing yards, cast it down. Now, Michigan and Ohio State don't go by the same blueprint. Obviously, Ohio State's a high-flying quarterback, 4 receivers that are all NFL guys.
Yeah, they're
2
fun
really
to watch.
Good running. Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. It's at Penn State. It's not a whiteout game. I mean, they're going to need a word I use a lot on my shows. They're going to need a lot of benevolence. I mean, Ohio State's going to have to be bumbling around, uncharacteristic mistakes to give. If they can stay in that game for a half and then slow it down some and get into the third quarter, that is one of the most dynamic fan bases on the planet Earth. If they can get all of that in a magic, bottle, maybe they would have a chance. Maybe.
I'm a James Franklin fan. It's just anybody who can win at Vanderbilt and what he does. I like the way he goes about it, though.
Yeah, he's good. He's probably as good a salesperson as there is out there. And he's also very good at keeping his name out there for other jobs. I've known James since he was here. And, no, he did a fantastic job. If you're going to win 9 games back-to-back at Vanderbilt,
right,
there's got to be some kind of – and his reward is he got his dream job, which is the Penn State job. But that's magical doing that.
Well, I keep hearing there's going to be a couple open jobs in the SEC pretty soon. I don't know if they're going to get rid of Jimbo, but it sounds like there's some real discord in that locker room with the young guys against the old guys. I've had how many? Half a dozen, if not more, suspensions off of this incoming recruiting class. They had the 3 that came up earlier this week. There were suspensions before the season started too, and it's all true freshmen from this heralded recruiting class, which felt like the main reason that they were ranked 6th anyway. And obviously right now they're having trouble, putting up 6 points, for crying out loud. What the heck is going on in College Station?
On the team on the field, it's their offense. Their defense is pretty salty. Their offense is they don't have an identity. They really don't have a blueprint that this is what we do. We're going to do it, and we're going to win with it. They don't have that. They haven't found that. Quarterback play has been shaky, at best. And they got a 5-star kid. He's probably not ready. He's their future quarterback sitting there. Got some reps in that last game. But, okay, if you bring in an entitled group of players, 2010 Florida team, this had that happen too. The veterans and the freshmen, the veterans took great offense in 2010 on that Gator team coming off a national championship in 08 and nearly won in 09. And all these high-name recruits coming in thinking, where's my job? You know, I'm taking somebody, and that caused a lot of problems. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what's going on at A&M, but you can pay people now, as we all know. And these guys all got a whole lot of money, and they've been told probably for 10 years how good they are, and they get there, and I think they just expected everything to go like it went in high school, and that's not happening. And the next thing you need to be looking out for is the transfer portal. Because when you have umbrage like this, when you have players this disgruntled, you got a locker room that does appear that it's in a big mess and shambles. That's going to be interesting because there's a whole lot of kids on that recruiting class that I'm sure, guys, we all know you're not supposed to, but they're already being poached. I can promise you that.
Well, and they're looking to get into the SEC, don't you think, Matt? If they sign it at A&M, like they want to play in the SEC, you're going to see these guys going to other schools in this conference.
I would think.
And speaking of, we were talking earlier about Dion in a Power 5 job. What are your thoughts? Like as a school, you got to think he's going to bring in an OC and a DC. But to be the head of your school to get these kids, do you see a Power 5 job in his future?
At some point.
Right.
You know, it'd be interesting. Georgia Tech is a place where it's hard to get players, and but at the same time, you're geographically as advantaged as any football school on this earth. You literally are. You could not be in a better location in the heart of Atlanta. And players, Georgia can take their 25, 30 every year, and there's another million left. Now, I'm not saying they get them all, but Dion's the kind of guy that could recruit, where Georgia Tech's not able to do that. The 1990 Bobby Ross team's not coming back. That tied Colorado for the championship that year. They're light years away from that. You need a dynamic guy who could come in there and convince recruits that would never consider you because it's Deion Sanders. Now, I don't know what they're thinking. Brent Key's been doing a good job. He's the interim. He's a Georgia Tech guy. He won several games until they lost the other night to Virginia. I'm not sure what they're doing. Got to remember, they also fired their AD. At the same time, they fired Jeff Collins. It's kind of a mess there, too.
I could see Georgia Tech in that situation because, I mean, they're second fiddle in that state, but the other school is not in their league.
And their campus, you seen their campus? It's just kind of downtown, like it's no campus really, unless it's changed a little bit. That's one thing I wonder.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And nobody's as Atlanta as Dion when it comes to, being an
Oh, my goodness, right?
Makes sense.
Almost as good as Florida State.
Yeah. Hey,
No
Auburn. You mentioned the transfer portal. There was another guy, another defender. I think he's a redshirt freshman that he's not in the portal yet, but he left the team. Brian Harsin mentioned, I think, two guys yesterday at his press conference or 2 days ago that also are no longer on the team. They've lost half of last year's recruiting class. And apparently he's telling players, look, you either get in the portal or you're playing games for us. And you're not requesting any red shirts. I mean, it sounds a little bit like players versus coach going over at Auburn, too.
That's been over for a while, and I really don't have a problem with him not holding a press conference and stating the obvious. There's really no advantage in their case to doing that, and somebody that you would want isn't available right now. You could be talking to their agent right now, but I'll tell you what I would do. And I don't know why he's still radioactive, but I'd go after Hugh Freeze. You got to have, first of all, Hugh Freeze knows how to beat Alabama, did it back-to-back years at Ole Miss. He's a dynamic recruiter, and he's very good on the field when you talk in X's and O's. Not all coaches can do that. Some are good recruiters, some are good developers. Very few have all those skill sets. He has them all. And I don't know if the SEC has some private word where don't bring him back into the league. I don't think so anymore. But you need somebody dynamic, and that is Hugh Freeze. And he's not afraid of the SEC West. And, guys, Auburn's a really good job. You need the right leadership, but Auburn is a very good job. And if they get that hire right, then there's another big problem in the West for everybody.
Auburn's a weird job. I mean, maybe it is a good job too, not to take away from the talent that's around there and close as you are to Georgia and I mean, they have the tradition too of playing for championships and winning them as well. But man, it's a weird job, and I mean, they haven't even hired an athletic director now, and sometimes you don't even feel that the athletic director really makes the decisions as far as, who's coaching and how they're going to run things. That's why, to me, it's a weird job as well as being a good job. It's like it's a real crapshoot.
Hugh Freeze makes $3 million at Liberty. He's comfortable, and his wife's happy there, and we all know that's important. But if Auburn comes, he's gone. I mean, you crawl on your belly through glass to get that job. And now the previous AD, Green, did not like Hugh Freeze. So anytime that came up prior, he was a person to veto it. And there is a theory that that's one of several reasons why they got rid of it. Now, again, I'm not predicting that they're going to go get or take Hugh Freeze. I don't know that. But to me, that would be your smartest You can't just go get the next guy who's won some games somewhere else. That's not good enough.
Bill, what do we got? World Series coming up. We're not going to get you again until next week. Who you got? I got Philadelphia. It looks like everybody's with Houston, and they're over the cheating scandal. Where do you stand with on this World Series coming up?
Well, I'm a college baseball guy, so if you asked me, I probably wouldn't even have told you who's in it. And I'm a Dodger guy, too, but I don't keep up with them. They're out. My wife's from Houston, so she would probably shoot me in the head if she heard that I picked the other team. So I got to go with the cheating Astros.
Fair enough.
Well, and I know you're a family man, Bill, so you know how to keep the most important person in that person.
I'll be looking for a place around Thanksgiving if I go the other way.
That's right. Bill, have a great week. Looking forward to talking about it again next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio.
He's not a baseball. He's a Dodgers guy.
He's a college sports guy through and through.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you much about college baseball except for the Razorbacks. Yeah.
Well, you just wait around until like January and February.
They're gonna be fun this year. I like Coach Van Horn, man.
We'll have a lot of talk of college baseball once we get closer to it. That's right. Yeah, and I keep getting texts come in. Is the team going to be any good this year? I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I know the track record. I know that they're going to be good because they're always good. That's kind of the way I go about it. But I do think the pitching staff's going to be really, really salty. Got some open phone lines in the next segment. 877-377-6963. We're into the home stretch, and halftime is right back.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Fall Saturdays in Arkansas are made for Razorback football. Tailgating, the Hog Walk and Hog Town, running through the A, and much more return to Razorback Stadium during the month of November when the Hogs open up a 3-game homestand beginning with homecoming against Liberty on November 5th. Followed then by SEC foes LSU on November 12th and Ole Miss to close out the home schedule on November 19th. Secure your tickets today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Fall has arrived. That means woo pigs, tailgate parties, apple festivals, and pumpkin spice and everything nice. Don't miss the fun because your car won't run. Drive into fall with automotive maintenance and repairs you can trust from W&W Automotive. This is Mark at W&W. We offer affordable repair solutions for all makes and models, foreign or domestic, including front-end work and alignments. Call me or Kelly at 242-1600 or come see us just off of Townsend on South O in Fort Smith. That's W&W Automotive, a bumper-to-bumper certified shop.
The Party Place is in their new location at 1415 South Zero. 50% off Halloween decor. Hurry in while supplies last. The largest party supply store in Arkansas. Costumes starting at $9.99. Large animatronics, masks, wigs, fog machines, lights, and more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders. Now in their new location, 1415 South Zero by Atwoods.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Are you an experienced concrete finisher? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forsgren is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. GoForsgren.com. Apply now at GoForsgren.com. Are you an experienced dump truck driver? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forsgren is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. GoForsgren.com. Apply now at GoForsgren.com.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I think I've been getting better every week, just working on my hand placement. That's really one of the hardest things that I've come to find out is it's all about hand placement and steps and your feet. Yeah. And if your feet are terrible, you're going to lose, 9 times out of 10. So just taking good steps, especially the first 2 steps are the most important ones, and then shooting and striking my hands inside the pads, which Coach Loggins has done a great job, helping me out and doing things that make me and force me, to do better and play better with my hands and my feet.
It's Trey Knox talking yesterday about his improvement as a blocker and crediting a good friend of yours, Matt, Owl Loggins, helping him learn this position and some of the intricacies of it.
Who better, man? An NFL coach, been with the Chicago Bears, Miami Dolphins. And, Phil, I'm a big Trey Knox fan. I like what he can do on the football field. And, he should have a big game. Auburn, I look for him to had a bye week, too. He should be healthy. And the one thing that I really liked about that BYU game was KJ spread the ball around. A lot of different people got involved in the game. Wasn't just when you had Burks, you had the receiver last year when he just kind of focused on him a little bit, but spread the ball around. I look for our running backs to run and run well. Might even get 200-yard rushers. You could if number 5 keeps doing what he's doing. And then look for Green or DeBinion to break out. Have one of them got a 100-yard game yet? So I look for maybe one of these other guys to get it going a little bit.
I think either one of them has the capability of getting 100 yards in a game. It's just Rockets too good to sit him too often. Knox caught 4 balls against BYU, Matt, for 66 yards. He had that big 36-yarder when KJ Jefferson escaped Houdini. 4 defenders and Knox was able to break off his route because he said the defender, the guy who was covering him, chased after KJ. So Knox kind of did something with that, and it turned out to be the play of the game. So Dowell Loggins, someone that you played with, someone you know well, did you think he was a coach when you played with him?
Oh, man, he loves ball. We were college roommates my last year there, and just going over the game plan, talking about the ball. Man, it was the best roommate you could have. Just going over, hey, what are we doing on third down? And he's so sharp, man. He knows there's no hesitation. He's he loves ball. Just loves watching film. I liked watching film if I was playing. If I'm on the camera, I want to look at me. It's like he loves watching film and learning and doing all the things. It goes with coaching, man. He's just been around it. Dad's coach, he was a high school quarterback in Texas. I believe in Abilene, threw for like 3,000 yards as a little quarterback. I mean, he was 1 for 1 for the on his field goal, on his passing. Has the best passing record in Arkansas history.
Yeah, and he kind of I didn't think about this until now because we see Coach Loggins in the home radio booth before every game at Razorback Stadium. I think he's the only coach that's up there now because Coach Odom's been on the field. And
who's the defensive guy that goes up there? If the DC, sometimes your DC or OC might want to be. So Briles likes to be on the. Are they co-offensive coordinators, or is it Briles just the OC and Dow's the tight end coach? Yeah,
it's just Briles. And I don't think. The guy's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Oh,
I think he's come into college thinking that's the next step after taking this job as the tight ends coach.
They're on community. That's who talks to each other. Briles and Loggins are just they're constant communication going on about what's going on, what just happened, what are we thinking if we get in 3rd and 3, what are we thinking if it's 3rd and 9. Their communication is constant.
That's exactly why I thought you had him up there. As the eye in the sky.
Right.
I don't know the other defensive coaches, if there are one that are upstairs, and I wouldn't be able to see because they block out the window, so we can't see what's going on in there, and it's 2 booths down right through the public address booth. But I figured that's it's not entitled, but it really feels like Dowell Loggins is not co-offensive coordinator, but sort of like assistant offensive coordinator.
Assistant to the assistant regional manager. Yeah.
Assistant to the assistant traveling secretary too. Yeah.
So in your second life, your job's just basically the same thing.
He's going to be an OC at some point, right? I think Dowell Loggins is an offensive coordinator in college.
I want him to, selfishly, I want him to stay at Arkansas, but he's so talented that. He's going to be an OC somewhere, head coach somewhere. It's just a matter of finding the right fit, I bet, and when he's ready, because I'm sure he could go somewhere and be a head coach if that's really what he wanted to be at maybe a smaller school. But I know, there's just something about being up there on the hill, being up there in Fayetteville, being part of this Razorback program, and he's got a good spot, man. Think about if Sam Pittman's your boss, man. Wouldn't you want to be around him and they look like they're having fun, and to hear Trey Knox, it seemed like he was developing and understanding the game, talking about his hand placement. That Dow knows how to translate it to these kids.
Well, I wonder, like when you saw he took the job, was there did you have any surprise, that he decided at that point to take it to go the college route and drop out of the NFL?
Kind of. Because
that was a surprise.
It kind of because you're kind of go one way. It seems like now you do have coaches that like to that can and have success, but you just don't see them a lot going college to pro to college. You kind of get going in one grouping because you kind of get he was a Jeff Fisher guy, a John Fox guy. You're looking at some of the guys he was when you travel around to some of the places he went to. And you kind of stick with your boys. You kind of stick with your guys when you go into town. So, yeah, it was kind of surprising to see him. But selfishly, I hope he stays there as long as he can, as long as he wants to, because he's great for the program.
A couple of questions in on the text line we'll get to here. 877-377-6963. JT wants to know your opinion on this, Matt. Do you think Trey Knox should be KJ Jefferson's quote-unquote best friend on the field?
Man, Trey's he's an athlete. He's one of those football players. He reminded me of a Brandon Holmes, of just some of these guys that can do multiple things really well. Like he might not be the fastest, he might not jump the highest, but he understands it, and he's a football player that's unselfish. He's one of those guys you're going to take him first. When you're picking up teams, picking up guys who you want, he's a football player. I'm a big fan. If I'm KJ, I like what he's doing. Like I said, BYU game, he spread the ball around. I believe we had 10 different running backs and receivers and tight ends catch passes. But if you get a matchup with Trey Knox and man coverage, you're looking at him.
Who was your? Well, I mean, I'll ask the question with a caveat here, because I kind of thought sometimes maybe you can have two best friends. Would you have ever viewed the left tackle as your best friend, the guy that's keeping you upright?
Big buy, yeah. Sean Andrews. You had Sean Andrews and Bo Lacey. Sean was actually a right tackle. Bo Lacey, left tackle. But then you had Jason Peters. Bo Lacey was a good man. He got on to camp a little bit and played, but just a Newport guy. He's an Arkansas guy that just now I think Dow and Bo are still pretty tight. But Jason Peters was our tight end. Sean Andrews there. Jason Peters had some hands. You talk about a basketball player that could do it all. And he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, do you think when you look at Arkansas football players over the last 20 years, Ryan Mallett, Darren McFadden, guys that have had a lot of success, played for multiple years, has Jason Peters had the best career out of all these people?
On an NFL roster now. I know he's hurt, but he's still. Gosh, I mean, he signed with the Cowboys. Has been on the field a couple games. Just the longevity alone speaks for itself. And undrafted, probably to the Hall of Fame. Think about that.
No, I think he was. I think he was drafted.
I'm going to double check.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a third round. I think he was a third round guy, though. As far as that, yeah.
Let's take the phone call from Sterling, and I'll look this up. Sterling, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, guys. Hope y'all having a great day.
It is a great day, especially now that you're here.
I heard you talk about the baseball team for a little bit, and you said you don't know if they're going to be good. You said because your guess is they'll be good because they're always good. But then you said that the pitching is going to be saucy. Now, hold on, Phil. Now, you know pitching is where it's at. Now, you know if you got good pitching, you're going to be pretty doggone good. So are you telling me, I'm just trying to get it clarified, that we're going to be saucy on the bump?
Well, you know there's a lot of returning pitchers that were already good for you last year. Jackson Wiggins, Hagen Smith, Zach Morris, Will McIntyre. They brought in other guys, too, from JUCO, from other Division I programs. The name Cody Adcock, I think, is a name that you'll get to know fairly well, and a number of others, too. But it's like, you know, you got a pitching staff, but you got to have guys to field it. You know, and I don't know how the positions necessarily all shake out. You know, you're replacing your entire infield, outside of maybe first base. And your center fielder, your shortstop, your second baseman, your catcher. I'm not telling you that these are bad players who are going to be there. They're not. They're probably very good players. But I got to see it first. That's fair.
That's fair. You got to pick it up and throw it over there, and you got to catch it. Yeah, that's fair enough. On the World Series, my problem with the Astros is this: they don't have no rallies in the bullpen. They don't have no lefties in the bullpen, and you got Harper and Scherber over there. I mean, what you going to do with those monsters late in the game?
I mean, that's a legitimate question.
There's no lefties.
That is a legitimate question. Well, without the lefties, they're still in the World Series. So they're finding ways to get left-handers out anyway.
That's true, too. But these are two, I mean, this is Bryce Harper we're talking about.
That's true. I mean, the best hitters on the Yankees are all right-handed. Those are all right-handed hitters, the best that they have. So I mean, that's a legitimate point, and it will be something to pay attention. But still, it's like they won 106 regular season games. I think they're undefeated in the postseason. So they've been getting lefties out. It's just none of them are Bryce Harper just yet.
That they have. Guys, thanks for the vine, and y'all have a great day.
All right. Good to hear from you, Sterling.
Bill, you're right. I checked it out. All right. You're right. Bill's right. 2-0 this week. You're 2-0 this week.
Matt, you are very good at admitting when you were wrong.
How many GMs got fired missing that one, though? You know, like how, oh my, didn't even draft Jason Peters. Wow.
I mean, that's so rare.
How are you any good at your job, right? Yeah. Every 32 of them should have been fired.
trying to think of like other players that have been undrafted that made it to
that
the Hall of
obvious
Fame in whatever league they're in.
Yeah.
Like Mike Piazza was a 60th round draft choice. They only have 20 rounds now. He got to the Hall of Fame. The only reason Piazza was drafted, according to Tommy Lasorda, was it was a favor for Piazza's father. All right, we're going to wrap up the show after a quick break on halftime.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue, behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath Road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Shimmy, 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 y'all. Shimmy, 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 yeah. Shimmy, 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 y'all. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, y'all. Oh, baby, we like it raw. Yes, baby, we like it raw. Oh, baby, we like it raw. Yes, baby, we like it raw. Come on, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy yeah, shimmy yeah. Give me the Michael, I will take it away. The whole damn thing was the kung fu thing. Big community boss with the crazy rapping.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Just some things to remind you about as we wrap up Halftime here on a Wednesday. Tomorrow's usual Thursday, Bob Holt will be with us, so we'll get to talk with Bob. We do have Clay Henry tomorrow for a couple of hours starting at 12, and Nate Olson will do a little high school football with us. Of course, we'll have the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out very soon. Maddie's been working on that. And Ruskin and Zach are on with you from 2 until 7. Sam Pittman Live is back this week, and we'll be on at 7 o'clock here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I was trying to double check and see who are the guests as far as that's concerned. I haven't been able to find it out.
Find out who won that Boonville game, right? Wasn't that what his pick was? Was it Hackett and Boonville? Was that the big Charleston and Boonville? Maybe it was the big game. Find out who won that.
I'm trying to put. Don't you just hate when you got fat finger syndrome on your phone? You're just trying to type in a very simple word, and C always turns into an X. Let's see. You got Nathan Bax and Chris Pupol at the Catfish Hole tonight. So the tight end and linebacker's been getting a lot more play of late. And probably get some good things out of Chris Paul. Also want to remind you about Lark Full Spectrum Seltzer, brought to you by Ouachita Farms. And it tastes great. You can catch a buzz with no booze with Lark because there's no alcohol. There is the right balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. No sugar, no carbs, no calories either. Lark's available at any local adult beverage store. You can go to larkhemp.com. Have it shipped to your doorstep. Got to be 21 years of age or older. And again, we got a birthday. I don't usually do birthdays, but 73rd birthday to Mike Hargrove, former Major League player and Major League manager, one of the greatest nicknames of all time. His nickname was the Human Rain Delay. This is one of the guys that if he was playing today, probably would have to retire because next year, batters have to get into the batter's box with 9 seconds on the pitch clock. And I think Hargrove was kind of a guy who did like 59 seconds between pitches. Stretch 3 or 4 different ways, adjust the batting gloves 3 or 4 different ways, adjust the batting helmet. He had his routine.
Again. What are you going to say?
What are you going to do about that, right?
He'd like to dribble it 38 times before I shoot the free throw. That's what I like. It's like what he likes to do.
I love nicknames like that.
The Human Rain. That we should have I guess that may be a summer thing. Best nicknames. That'd be fun. Yeah, the Hawk, Andre Dawson.
Death to Flying Things is the name of a certain outfielder. I think they might have called Willie Mays that every once in a while.
Hey say kid. Say hey kid.
Say hey kid. Yeah. You could also have called Dave Winfield Death to Flying Things or Randy Johnson because they both threw baseballs that killed birds at baseball parks. But that's a story for another time, and maybe we'll do that tomorrow on Halftime. For Matt Jones and Matt Travis, I'm Phil, and have a great rest of your Wednesday. That's your Halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.